Hello guys, it is me, Joe Dubs, and we are back with Ark episode 3. Episode 3, everybody. And boy, oh boy, is this a fun one. This one is up and down for me, and it's more downs than ups. But I don't know if I should make the decision of drawing up that strike or go by my structure, and I'll save that near the end, but I don't know if it deserves that warning before I give the final strike. But it definitely is getting bad, and we're gonna change up on as far as the format. So if you liked episode 1 and 2 on how we did the format of that episode of me being really vague and showing screenshots and stuff, I'm deciding to do like a kind of like a frame by frame of my opinions on it, and I go through it really quickly. I don't go it by like the whole 43 minutes, so it's not like I'm giving full spoilers, but I'm kind of giving the spoilers on the scenes that I am stopping by and talking about. So if you don't want that, please comment down below. But if you don't care and you like how this format is, please tell me in the comments. So grab a drink, grab some food, and let's get in some couch entertainments of episode 3. All right, guys, let's get into episode 3. So the water situation that's going on from last episode, because remember they had to turn off the engines. Eva said we have a couple of days more of water to survive. So we have a new problem, because in this episode you have Sharon and they're arguing, and Bryce says, hey, can we, stop bickering and figure out a plan, because we only have a couple of days to survive. And oh my god, things happen, because guess what? We have an asteroid that the ship is in a collision course in about 6 hours. So we have a new problem on hand here. What is up with people on this ship? That I get it, they all have jobs to do, but you have the security guard here. Anyway, I'm just gonna call him security dude because he's not in a lot of scenes. I mean, he's been in all 3 episodes, but he says, he's trying to interrogate Lane here because of the whole murder situation. And again, and when we get to Bryce's situation, but Lane here says, we're about to die, who cares? Like, we're about to go into an asteroid. It doesn't matter if I killed a person or not. We're all going to be murdered in 6 hours. And then Sharon pretty much says to the security guy, hey, do this after, if we're alive. Then we get this weird scene where the doctor is all tired, but she's like looking through all the medical records, and she gets this look right here. She's like looking at Bryce's records, and I'm not a medical expert, so I'm not going to, and I didn't see anything besides like this bar here. So I don't know if this is like meaning that he's recovering really quickly or he's not in good shape. But she had like a suspicious look, like this is not supposed to happen. And I'll tell you another scene when we get to it where I'm just like, what the hell? So she falls asleep and she wakes up, and somehow she didn't notice that a tornado happened through her office here, because everything in there, which I guess was all drugs and medicine, is taken. And it looks like they just tore open the cabinets, and she never heard this at all. And all the people that we see later on, I'm pretty surprised that she didn't see it. I guess she's a heavy sleeper, but come on. It literally looks like a tornado went through here. So next scene, you have Alicia being all nerdy and ditzy and being like, I know how to work things, and I don't believe in God. I'm not spiritual and all that stuff, because she says, pray, because she's about to jumpstart the ship, and the keyboard goes on fire. There you go, right there. Not really good at there we go. It goes on fire, and boom. So that's not going to work, because she's going to try to jumpstart it so that they can move away from the asteroid. It doesn't work. And here's the scene where I'm talking about Bryce. So she comes up to him, and the scene, I don't know if it's written like, again, if she's worried about his health or she's making him a prime suspect as far as stealing the meds. To me, that's how it came off, based off of, her suspicious look, and then her being like, "Oh, we need to run some tests on you," and he's like, "I'm feeling fine," like, and then she's like, "No, but I need to take tests on you. I have to," and she does it in a weird way, like she's hiding something from him because she wants to find something out. And I don't know, it's weird. And again, another thing that is not needed at the moment, because even before the asteroid, like they have a couple of days to live with water. Why does this health situation even matter at all at the moment? Because in a couple of days they would be dead. Now in 6 hours they're going to be dead because of the asteroid. So I don't know. Written really weird, and it happened like 2 times already, where it's just like, we need to do this unnecessary thing at this survival moment, and I just don't understand. And then you have Trent and Alicia, and the whole Trent situation, because if you remember back in episode 1, he was stealing all the oxygen. He was putting it in the compartment before, and he's like trying to pry information from Alicia because now she's the chief life support person, so she's on the bridge, so she has the up-to-date information of what's going on between the officers. And the way he's written, it's like so super obvious, like, and I get it, a lot of people be like, well, when love blossoms, I guess you're kind of blinded by love. But Alicia's smart. Like, and she even brings it up like, oh, I'm on the bridge and all that stuff. And she, at some point in the episode, says, well, I'm kind of like an officer, right? But she doesn't see that Trent is like pulling information. And especially, you kind of think he's being suspicious in a way because he looks at the tablet that she leaves later on. Let me point that. I just don't buy the writing of like how he's written to be the suspicious guy. And frankly, it better happen quickly as far as what his story is going to be about, because I don't like him. That's just my opinion. So they're having a conversation because since Eva's plan didn't work, what are we going to do? And Dollar Store Toby Maguire comes and says, hey, let's, get out and push the vehicle. And everybody's like, that's a good plan. And they, again, the way it's written, he's like, what? I don't understand what you're doing. And he's like, oh, we're going to push the ship. And how are we going to do that? We're going to take the shuttle that is on the bottom of the ship to pretty much use the engines to push the Ark away from the asteroid. Now, I know a lot of people had comments on the science and the physics and stuff. So if this is impossible, please comment in the down below and see if this is BS in any way. Bryce is all excited because he's like, I'm gonna get to go in the shuttle and do something about it. And they're trying to think of a plan C just in case the shuttle doesn't work. They came up with a plan C because the showers over here. He said, why don't we blow a hole so that we can move the ship away from the asteroid? And they say, hey, we don't have explosives on the ship. And Dollar Store Toby Maguire says, I have poop. I can make a poop bomb. And when they were, the reason why they came up with a plan C is because Bryce was trying to turn on the shuttle, and the shuttle was not working because Dollar Store Toby Maguire, aka Angus, took away some hoses. Eva's group took away some parts that they needed to get the life support in the water situation fixed. So their plan is they had to get all the parts to the shuttle so that they could turn it on and see if it works. And they do this comedy skit where they get all the parts, and every time they tried to turn it on, it didn't work. And then there was I will admit I did chuckle at this part. They kind of do the part where, if you remember the movie Armageddon, where the Russian guy was like, US component, Russian component, all made in Taiwan. And he hits it and like it turns on. Well, they kind of do that here because they turn it on, it doesn't work, it sputters, and then Bryce like kicks the console and he like celebrates, but then it just turns off again. And he's like, "You mother effer." All right. So let's get to another cringy scene as far as writing wise. So you have Eva, Sharon, and Lieutenant Lane going to the showers, and they see a doomsday party happening, and they found out where all the drugs finally went. All these people raided the med bay of all the drugs, and he kind of says to Sharon like, "Oh, you're not the boss of me. Just because the officer is dead, you don't boss us around." And she kind of awkwardly, pushes him into the locker and says, "Until we get to the destination, you listen to us." And she cringe yells at them to get out. Eva does the calculations. Dollar store Toby Maguire comes with the poop bomb and then plants the poop bomb there. They blow it up. It works because they weren't sure that, when they blow it up, that it wouldn't like work and pretty much break the whole ship. So they decided to do it anyway while Bryce is still working on it. But I guess since they're running out of time, because I think they were like 2 hours as far as the ship breaking. Because of the poop bomb, they both Dollar Store Toby Maguire and what's her face Eva did calculations, and they like missed it by 500 meters. They celebrate. Bryce comes and says, "Hey, I fixed the ship finally." And they're like, "Hey, we did it. We saved life." And they have a moment here, and they get to watch the which we find out because there's a tail. Now asteroids don't have tails, so this would be a comet. And Alicia, because she's a smart person, says, "Oh my God, we can get water." And this is the part where they're showing that Trent is not who he says he is, and he's probably using Alicia because he gets the tablet and does, I don't know what this is. He's like hacking or something to check the mainframe or whatever hackers do. Alicia brings up the point about the comet, and they're like, "Oh my God, we can get water." So they decided that they're gonna pretty much use the shuttle with the hose to pretty much get a drill or mine the comet to get water. Again, all my science people out there, tell me if this is BS of how they written this, because I want to know. Then they have a moment here with Bryce and Eva, and I don't know, she like has feelings for him or whatever. It just feels like she was like looking out for him. Now, it could be just a normal like, "Oh, be safe because you're our only hope of getting water," but it came off like she had feelings for him, and I'm just like, didn't your boyfriend just die? And then we get back to this here, a more cringe of Alicia and Trent. They're holding hands, and then Dollar Store Toby Maguire comes and kind of like cock blocks him, I guess, and follows him around. And again, Alicia, who's on the bridge, is just spewing everything out to Trent here. And Trent like kind of plays it off like, "Oh my God, you're so smart. Like, I don't get it. Like, are we doing something good? Is it gonna work? Like, what is he gathering? Is he reporting to whoever's on Earth?" They Bryce going on the shuttle, and he gets on the shuttle, and he tethers to the comet, because the whole thing when Alicia was talking to Trent before, they talked about like the movement of the comet. It's like, isn't that like, sticking your hand out and trying to like hold on and all that stuff? And they were trying to be all sciencey. Again, to my science viewers out there, tell me if Alicia was like BSing a lot in that dialogue, because she was talking really fast and she jibber jabbered so much that I just like, let's get to the next. So Bryce gets there, he's drilling, and then there's like another problem being like, oh my god, it's pushing us away and it's gonna rip you apart and get back here. And so they have this tense thing where he's like, 99%, that's enough, get out of there. And he's like, no, I need to finish the job. And it's just so cringy. Like I wasn't on the edge of my seat because I'm like, I know he's gonna be alive because he's too important, in my opinion, to the show. So I knew he was gonna do it either way. Judging by the time near the end, I knew he was gonna successfully do that. They tell the people that you're allowed to do the water, and because there's only one there's one shower, now they all have to shower with each other. And it seems like the doctor here, which I believe her name is Brandis, Dr. Brandis, here's crying, and Eva is like crying in a locker or maybe the sauna or something like that. And then Bryce does a moment of like, pass me the soap, ladies. Security guard talks to her because she's like, this is not enough drugs. And I'm like, what is it? He found whatever was left over. I know that they're like trying to survive, but now they have water. Like, they should be happy they have water. They have the plants happening. Those are the two survivals. If someone gets sick, I guess that's their own fault. And maybe they should ration the medicine to see who is a priority and who's not a priority. So her anger, like, there's a lot of unnecessary anger going on. And the security guard's like, I can't diagnose people, but I do have some medic skills, so I could start looking at people so she can get some rest. And then she takes a pill, which is funny because she just complained about it, and now she takes a pill, so I guess she's a druggie. I don't know. Then we learned stuff about Brandis. We learned that, and I'm guessing what's probably happening on Earth is the atmosphere is probably all effed up from the UV of the sun, and apparently that burned her up. Eva said that her sister died from the UV storm or whatever. And they kind of build a rapport where, I told you my secret, now you tell me yours. And she's like, I cried out, and I cried it all out. I don't need to say anything. So I guess they have a little thing going on here. I was a little excited. Not for like the ending part, but like I was like, oh look, Sharon and Lane are kind of liking each other now. And he gets a confidential, and I don't know who's messaging. And like, why didn't he say, who are you? But then again, this might be whoever owns the ship, maybe a corporation sending him this. Because I don't know. He tells him to go to Jasper's bunk bed because there's a video that he needs to watch. And the video is, because remember when Jasper, in that episode when he's talking to Sharon, he says, I seen you at the bar. And now we're getting context to that, where she's beating up this guy and slits his throat. Like, oh my God, did she kill Jasper? Or is that a red herring because it could have been Eva? Because I forgot to mention one part. Eva does say, because she thought, again, the writing, Brandis thought because she spit on Jasper that somehow Jasper was with Eva. But she's like, no, I just spit on him because he got Harris killed. And they kind of like hint that maybe she killed Jasper. So now what I'm thinking, and I'm making a prediction now, that it wasn't Sharon who killed it. It killed Jasper. It was Eva. And I think that's the red herring, unless they throw another thing in there. But oh my God. Those are the scenes of that episode. All right, guys. So, I think I'm going to give it a chance. I'm not giving it the warning yet, but this is a bad episode. So episode 4 and 5 are going to be deciders. So episode 4 could get that warning, and then episode 5, if we have 2 straight episodes in a row that are bad, I might have to give that strike and then not do, like, maybe I'll peek at it, and if it does get better, maybe near the end, I'll give like a whole review as far as, if we do have to stop. But the writing in this episode, like the plot, keep in mind, I do appreciate that, because I do complain about TV shows where they take one plot and they drag it. In this show, it seems like they're trying to put many problems in one episode, even though they have a main thing about the comet pretty much in a collision course. But then they have like the shuttle's not working, and it feels very hokey when they start spending all these problems or spitting out all these problems to these characters. And there's certain writing situations where last episode they were told that they have a couple of days to live because of the water situation. And then automatically they have 6 hours now because they're in a collision course to this comet. When you have the security guard and the doctor coming up with these unnecessary things to do during these survival times, it's kind of stupid. And whoever wrote that, like, come on. Like, this stuff could have been said during times where they weren't on survival mode. And I kind of hope we do get some lull time so that we could start building characters in the show instead of just like each episode we're having some type of problem. And I don't want that. So I hope next episode is just a chill episode. Not a filler, but something that, they're not impending doom. Those 2 scenes were really bad. The Alicia and Trent situation is very cringy. The whole Angus kind of showing love for, not love, but like in a flirty way for Sharon is kind of weird too. Sharon being all tough with those passengers were cringe. Even her near the end when she's on that video and when she's slicing that guy's throat is just very cringy to me. I don't know why. And they also write things weird, especially with the doctor who is looking at Bryce's medical records, and then she has like a suspicious look, then falls asleep, and then her drugs are taken by a tornado of people where she didn't even hear them at all. And then her having the conversation to Bryce to go get checked out during this survival situation. He's like, no, I'm feeling fine. Making it look like she has suspicious that Bryce is stealing the drugs so that he could feel better in some way. I don't know. And then somehow, like, now she's the druggie because she takes the pill near the end of the show. So writing wise, this episode was really bad for me, and there was so much science mumbo jumbo, and based off of the people that watched my reviews and talked about the science and stuff, that all of it's all BS and stupid. So I'm wondering, all the stuff that they said in this episode, is it stupid? But they did have some like funny parts. Like, again, Bryce is my favorite character. So like when he's dealing with the broken shuttle, I thought that was funny. And then when he, gets the water from the comet and he's like doing all the celebrating, drinking water, that was good. So I give them credit on that part. All the other stuff, I'm just like rolling my eyes way too much. Presentation still looks bad as far as when they go into space, and especially looking at the ship and the shuttle and everything. It's a sci-fi show. I can't complain about it too much, but the presentation's still kind of bad in my opinion. And some things look like they cut corners as far as the sets, and everything looks small compared to this big ship that they're on. Oh yeah, the writing, even though I kind of just like said it before, it's bad, man. I don't know. So my rating is, I'm gonna make this an uncomfortable couch 2, maybe a 1.95 out of 5. So it's not looking really good. And judging by the ratings going down from the first episode, I don't even know if it's gonna get a full season because there's already talks that this show might get canceled based off of the downward trend of the views that are going on right now. Hopefully things turn around for episode 4 and 5. Like I said, those are going to be crucial episodes. So if episode 4 is another stinker, then it will get the warning. And then if episode 5, that's a do or die episode. So if it does well, it survives, but it's still on that one strike, and I stop covering it. So hopefully it gets better. But if you like this review, make sure you comment down below as far as your opinion, because I do love the comments. Please like this episode, or if you don't like this episode or the video, then hit the thumbs down. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, and then also hit the bell so that you also get the notifications. The next show I'm covering is Picard, and that is coming out today. As far as my review, you might get that on Sunday, because I do watch this with my dad, and you know, I want to watch it with him, and then I'll give my review. So I will see you guys on the couch in the next video. Peace.